Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we have come up with a pattern program related to the library class chapter. So here we have the program. Okay, so as I proceed with its step, I will tell you the reason for its step. Here we don't need import Java because we are not going to take user input. We are going to create this pattern. So public class library, then public static void in sorry string args. Then we need to take the value of the character, that is, suppose we take int a to be 65 because the value of a is 65. The ASCII code that we say ASCII code. So taking that as we take the value of integer a to be 65. Now if we don't proceed with the program, you won't be able to relate why we are taking. So let's run the loop for I is equals to 1. No, I is equals to 6. We will be doing back counting. Why? The reason is it's a back pattern. Like we are we are doing back counting G F E. It's not A B C D E F G. It's G F E D B E D C B A. So we have to do back counting. That's why we start the first loop from 6. Now it should be greater than equal to 0. I minus minus. For forming a pattern, it's a general knowledge for nested loops, which we have done in class 9. Yeah, we have done in class 9. So from that, we have the idea how patterns are formed. There is a loop inside a loop. So this was I was for the number of rows. I was for the number of rows. Now for the number of columns. For in I into j is equals to, this will be also back counting. J is equals to 6, j greater than equal to I. Now why we are trying to relate it with I? Because according to the I, the number of columns will increase. Like, okay, I will be explaining you. Give me some time. Yeah. So it's j is greater than equal to I, and as it is j minus minus, and then we have to print this gfe, this portion. So if suppose say we are starting with 0, right? So if the value of j is 0, then we have to print the character for that. So we have, why we have taken it a to be 65, so that we can print the character form of 65 plus j, the value of j that comes. Now we don't depend on the I, because if the number of rows we are trying to print, then it forms something different pattern. Here we are considering j because the number of columns, you can see that varies. For row 1 it's column 1, column is 1. For row 2, column is 2. So on the number, depending on the number of rows, the number of columns vary. So we are doing system dot out dot println character a plus j. When row is 1, then column is 1. And the outer loop is always for the rows. Columns depends on rows. It's not that the rows depend on column. It's not vice versa, not vice versa. It's only the columns depends on the rows. So we always try to relate the number of columns, how it will be decreased, the limits we make according to the number of rows. That's why it's greater than equal to j. So j, and then character of a plus j, we need to give some space, otherwise it will look very clumsy. So we give the space and semicolon, and we close the loop. System dot out dot println, we need to give this. We know the reason why, because we need to shift to the next line. That's what. Now here I did one mistake. It won't be println, it would be print, because this thing will be the number of, we are putting this print statement under the number of columns. Columns won't change the line, it would be in the same line, so we don't print ln. So for rows we change line, for columns do we change line, like g then f. G is on one line, the next line it's gf, but for columns it's the same line, right? So we don't give ln. Let's compile it. Yeah, class compile, no syntax error. Now we need to run this, but before that, let me explain the reason. Now, according to the code, okay, according to the code, when row, I said for row, please don't consider my handwriting. It's actually tough for me to do with the mouse. Okay, so for row I, we considered I to be the row. So when row is 6, it starts with 6, right? Then column. We go step by step. The loop runs like we enter the loop. One complete step is complete. Then we move on to the. Then again the loop starts, right? It works turn by turn. It's just not like completing uh, I to be 6, then we move on to 5. There's a process in between, right? So when I is 6, that is row is 6, we enter the next loop, that loop in the loop. Okay, so that is the j, which we consider to be column. So when I is 6, j also starts with 6, and we put a comma, and it moves on till I, that is it should be greater than equal to I. So when I is 6, then greater than equal to I, that is greater than equal to 6, would be 6 only, so no further thing. Now is the system dot print, we have only 6 to print. So, and we considered a to be 65, so 65 plus 6 gives 71, and that is G. So we get the first line to be G. Then similarly, then row is decreasing, I minus minus, right? So it's 7. Then J also starts with 6, and it moves on till what? Till greater than equal to I. So, oh sorry, yeah, this would be 5. It is decreasing now, 5, then it's 6 here, and it moves on to greater than equal to 5. So we consider 6 and equal to 5, 5. So here we have two code, that is 6 and 5. Now 65 plus 5 is 70, which is f. So next line we have two letters, two alphabets, G and F, and this way the loop continues. So I hope you understood what I was trying to explain, what the logic is, the logic behind the problem. So yeah, this is the code. I'm showing you the code once again. Now we are going to run it. So here we have the terminal window, and yeah, I hope you all know how to run a program that is, or I need to show that. Even I won't show that because of the timing, because I have a limited time in my hand for this video and the time is almost over, so I can't show it. I'm really sorry, but this is the pattern. Please, like, if this was helpful, like it and share it, and subscribe, depends on you. Thanks.